Hi there, welcome back to Number One Geek. It is Saz, and we are here with a new series, which is basically Space Engineers mod community snapshots. So what we're doing is we're looking at members of the mod community and looking at all the things that they offer. Let you have a look through, see what you like, and then go visit their site, maybe support them as well, either monetarily or through their project. But my basic point is that they are the lifeblood of the Space Engineers community. They are what really have been keeping Space Engineers alive. It's not really the actual base game that has been keeping my interest for a very long time. It's actually all this stuff that people come up with. So, our first modder is Shayo Stu. Now, Shayo, I spoke to a while back, and he was talking about a few things, and it came up that he actually has Crohn's disease. Now, if you don't know what Crohn's disease is, I suggest you look it up because it's a nasty, nasty thing to have. Unfortunately, that means that Shayo can't work, so he's hopefully trying to build up a portfolio of stuff to actually be able to get people to join his Patreon and help him pay for his server costs and so forth, so that he can go on and do his own live streaming. Now, as a mod community supporter, I feel it's my duty as another live streamer and SE producer of videos to help this guy out and to make sure that they get the promotion that they do. Now, I know I'm a small channel, but you know, every little bit helps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and show you some of the stuff that he does, and then obviously links to his actual Space Engineers workshop modding area is down in the links below. Also, you'll find is a link to his Patreon, and only $1 a month will be able to help him in any way possible. So let's have a quick look through some of the stuff that he does. Now, Shayo, the mod that I generally tend to use of his is this mod over here, which is the Force Fields mod. Now, the great thing about the Force Fields mod is that you can freely walk in and out of them. And instead of having to use things like airtight doors and stuff, you can actually create your own force field area, a bit like a Star Trek engine bay. You go for the thing, and the best thing about it is that they keep things airtight. So it's great for you to have it. I generally tend to use it as a redundancy feature because I actually quite like having doors on the back of my stuff. So you know, I think it looks cool opening and closing doors just for live streaming purposes and for streaming purposes. But yeah, it's a great little mod. My only criticism, I would say, if Shayo's probably watching, is that sometimes it's a little bit difficult trying to get the central pieces here onto the edges. It takes a little bit of trickiness, but overall, if you've got the time, you might as well do it. But let's also go on to some other areas as well for airlocking as well. There's this lovely little airlock mod here, which I just find the you can anywhere, anytime you want to. Where are you? There you are. Oh. There we go. So it's Jay, you might want to have to look at making sure that area is there, because it is a bit more difficult to close it and open it, but that's another airtight lock. This is also a airlock connector, so that allows you to connect onto ships, and we also have an airlock merge block. Now, what I like about these is the lights. I do like the fact that Shayo generally tends to put lights and stuff on his items, because it just makes things pretty. Blinky lights and stuff is always a lot prettier than normal. Now, this is next one that we're going to have a look at is windowed solar panels. Now, this is quite a cool thing, because all these window things, these are all taken from the window ones with some extras in as well. They actually generate power. from the windows. Now, I've done a little bit of an experiment here. As you can see, there's a beacon here attached to it. Now, I've only put some of them on, and this is what I like about this scene, is that I've only got one bank on at the moment, which is the curved group. So that's 5 curved panels, and they're not enough to actually turn the beacon on. So all it is that, I mean, they are genuinely creating. Oh no, they're not actually creating any power. That'll be why. The curves might not be working now, but if I turn those on, no, the offset ones, they are generating power. Maybe the curves are away from the sun. And now, as you can see, what you could have seen is that the thing's working. I think it's because the sun's moved. That's why. There we go. Now it's working. Now the sun's over here, affecting the solar panels, so they're actually generating power to make this work, which is cool. I think it's really cool. And the best thing about it is each one of them isn't a massive amount, so you're not going to, you know, OP it just by having these things in the window. He's obviously worked out a decent way of you using these to gain just that little bit of extra power, and that's the best thing about it. Next thing, quickly done, is he's got a letter set in his own style, which is quite cool. There's also a very small-sized assembler and refinery here that he does. And the other great thing about this is that they have lights on them, which is always good. Lights are always good. So there you go. Over there is the giant magic dish, which I believe is a beacon or a broadcaster. So you can send data from one area to the other. I'm not 100% sure how many people actually still use broadcasting, because it seems fairly redundant due to the distance, but there you go. Other stars, we've got blocks that have LCD screens on. You can look at. Great stuff to put in. Now, here's another good one. I like these. These bad boys are called the blast shutters. So what we do is we can affect them to turn them on, and they open up like so, or close like so. So it's almost like a portable ramp that can come out when you decide to have it go. Which is cool. I think it's cool. Next we have different sets of block types. Now, Keegan have kind of responded to that sort of thing and made the different type of blocks, but there are some different ones if you want to experiment. There's no real textures on them, which is maybe a little bit of a problem, but at the same point they're there if you want to use them. Also, this down here is a landing pad, so I believe it actually resists thrust damage. Speaking of thrusts, there's also this. This is the tiny block thrusters that he makes, including different styles there. See? All these different Shadowstone mods of different block types that you can put into your ships and your items. Just see how it works. I'll just jump into this little bad boy here. See? My only criticism, naturally, is that we don't have any sort of flare coming out the back or any sort of block damage. But if that's what you want, if you want little decorative blocks in different colours and stuff like that, that's very much an item to go with. As I say, you don't get block damage from them. Maybe that's because the grid's stuck there, or any sort of flame comes out of them. But I'm pretty sure that could be for the items. Now, here's a little thing that is quite cool. I don't know if anyone knows about Kerbal Space Program, but the thing's called RCS thrusters, which is just basically gas thrusters. Now, as you can see here, we've got these little tiny, what is called tiny steam thrusters. Now, the only issue I've had with this is that I've had to put one with a very small amount of thrust on it to get them to work. If I switch that off, take off the thrust override, it might work now because I've done it. See, it's not actually moving at all as I press the buttons. You can hear the steam come out. So what I found you have to do with these is just slightly put on a bit of thrust override so that it comes out the back there, and then it all starts working. I'm not too sure if they're actually supposed to be attached to any sort of oxygen tank or anything, but we'd have to see. I'm not too sure that they're set up to do that, but that would be an idea, is that having an oxygen tank in there. But as I said, they work, they're quite cool, and it works for very small, fine ships, and great for there. Now, another one of a really good mod, one of his best mods, I think, is up here, and this is the catwalk mod. So these are really very high quality catwalks, and we walk around them, and you can do different things, and you can just add them onto your thing to make it look a little bit more industrial. It certainly adds it to anyone who wants to do movie style space engineer stuff. I know everybody wants to do it. Whether they do it successfully is another option. And it also does a lot of inside blocks as well. There's different packs that go along, including top, bottoms, and missings and stuff like that. The great thing is that they change colour with the colour things. He also does window mods as well. So each one of these has windows. Ooh, and I've fallen through, as you did. And also, once again, the cool lights. Now, the only issue I have with his door mod is that if you look at these doors, they don't tend to open properly. So maybe they give the door mod a miss, but the rest of these are absolutely top quality. Now, I know that these doors do work though. So it's got solid doors. And then also there's more window mods here as well. Which are very quite dark windows, which I think are quite cool. And I like the scratched window effect that he's got on here. Quite cool. So that's just a general idea of what he does. Now, if you like Sharestall stuff, then why don't you pop onto his Steam Workshop and have a look at that. The link is in the description below, as well as his Patreon. As I said before, if any sort of donation can go towards him, then that's great. That would be wonderful. So that's the first mod community look through of a mod, which is Sharestall. And if this gets a few likes and stuff like that, then I'll continue doing it. But thank you very much for your time. Like and subscribe if you can, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.